not only did we do a live stream yesterday, we did one earlier. TJ, that's 3 in less than 24 hours. I need a raise.
It's in the mail.
Oh, cool. Wait, is that email knowing you and your anyway, we'll
It's
just
in
go
the
on.
yeah. It's in the email.
We have another great guest who's going to join us for Cajun Con, and you are, sir.
Me Grimlock, me Dinobot leader. It's me, Greg Berger. How's it going?
That is so awesome.
Greg, nice to have you.
Hey, thanks. I only
love
go where
having-
I'm invited.
We'll invite you more and more.
All right.
I know a few of your compatriots. I took some voice acting lessons with Michael Bell.
An excellent choice.
He's fantastic. Who else? I know Charlie Adler.
Perfect.
So some of your Joes, some of your Transformers, Rob Paulson.
Ickis, Oblina, you're late for class. Charlie is such an Ickis. I love Charlie Adler. I love everybody you just mentioned.
Yeah, Charlie's a force of nature. When I took his class, it was over Zoom, and it was in October of 21. And we had a hurricane come through and took our power out in like a month before. And I couldn't even send an email. I was like, oh, nervous. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to have power back. Long story short, we got the power and the cable, my Wi-Fi, back the day of the class.
Sometimes it works out.
And I emailed him. I'm first on the Zoom. Oh, and he goes, let me ask you a question. When are you going to move from that city? I said, okay, Charlie, let me ask you a question. You're in California, right? You'll have wildfires, earthquakes, mudslides. When are you going to move from your city? Fair enough.
Sounds like my Charlie.
Yeah. Force of nature. Wonderful guy.
Yep.
We were talking before we got on, folks, and kind of the way things are working, people we know in common, like a harmonic convergence. So we did the live stream earlier. I got off, and I know you as, of course, Grimlock. I'm a super Transformers fan back from the 80s. But one of my other favorite cartoon series has just started on Tubi. I've waited years for it to come on. Men in Black, the series.
Oh, shoot 'em, Jays. The cerebrofaculoid, the brains are in their bottoms.
Oh, I'm overjoyed.
Golden days. 4 incredible seasons, and we finished on a cliffhanger and felt pretty confident we were coming back, but it goes to show you don't know. Nobody knows nothing. Right. But man, what writing and what chemistry. It just was such a joy to do.
Yeah.
And open each new script. I thought it was a very well written. And we had David Warner as Alpha. It doesn't get any better.
No. And Rob Paulson told us about David, how he put it into his contract for Titanic that he got to go play voices and go do Freakazoid, excuse me.
Oh.
So it wasn't Rob, it was Paul Rudd told us. So
Got it.
that man loved what he did.
You know what? That's kind of contagious. There's so many of us that feel so grateful and so gifted for the good fortune that we've been able to hold down. I mean, I've been tied to some iconic characters. That's why I tend to do real well on the convention circuit. It's taken me around the world. That part nobody could have predicted. It wasn't really a thing when we were doing it, nor was voice chasers on the web or behind the voice actors. They've gone out of their way to attach faces to the voices, and boy, it's I just got back from Australia, flew thousands and thousands of miles, and had a long line waiting at my table when I stepped out on the floor. It's just crazy. The reach is global. You don't think about that when you're knee deep in scripts in a studio, but it's quite amazing to wake up to that. It's humbling and empowering.
Very cool. I got a little embarrassed there. And it's I'm not, but it's that people always told me I watch cartoons I was too old to watch them. I watched them too long, and it was like, be
Ah,
quiet. But that little nervousness just came out like the bullets jumped in my head. But my thing was, I would listen to a voice and like, oh, this person did this, this, and this. My ear was IMDb before IMDb,
that's very cool.
Oh,
and
nice.
I would,
Yeah.
yeah, not that it was perfect like IMDb, but I always loved, hearing your work. I think you did. Was it one? Oh, Mysterio.
Yes, Quentin Beck, master of special effects and treachery.
Always good. Always good.
I was Craven on the same show. I was two Spider-Man villains in Spider-Man the Animated Series.
Yeah.
So Craven wants to mount Spider-Man on the wall as his trophy.
So, Greg, one of the things I like to ask voice actors, particular, were you good at voices when you were a kid, or was that something that you developed into later on in life? How did that work out for you?
It's a really cool question. My mother used to tell me that when I would ride on the bus with her, and I guess was so taken with the way I thought people were going to sound that I would engage strangers in conversation just to see if they sounded like they looked. So I've always, I mean, I'm an actor, stage first, last, and always, but my characters tend to be voice driven. Not that they're not realized in 3 dimensions, but that's kind of a secret for those who want to be in the industry. They're not really casting voices; they're casting characters, and a character who's realized in 3 dimensions, you know immediately how they sound, or you find out in the audition process. Either way, you have to be sort of grounded in a character before the voice makes any believable sense. And once you're there, the goal in the audition is to surprise yourself while you're surprising them. Because no matter what you bring in, they're going to tinker with it to find out how directable you are.
Sure.
So to get, and I'm all about in life and in animation, on stage, in any pursuit, you try to make every effort collaborative. So if the writer's giving you a million clues, pay attention. If the artist is giving you a million more, pay attention. They got there way before we step into the booth. We're like the last in and the first out, and we get a disproportionate amount of the adoration, approval, pick a word. Anyway, I like the collaborative nature of it. So yes, I've always been smitten by voices and what they reveal about the people who have them.
Awesome.
That's awesome. And you're not the first actor that has said that that's one of the things that they enjoy about voice work is the collaborative nature of it.
Yeah, man. Otherwise, you're missing a large percentage of the opportunity to work artist to artist, and everybody pushes everybody to a higher level.
Sure.
When you were recording in the days of, let's say, Transformers or Men in Black, any of those, was it the Andre Romano style where everyone was in the room, like a teleplay, or was it like nowadays where it's singular?
For me, in those days, I was doing Transformers and G.I. Joe at the same time. Wally Burr was directing both, and he insisted that everybody in a scene be in the room at the same time. He said, and I absolutely agree, that whatever it is becomes more contagious when everybody's present. If it's saving the galaxy, it becomes more urgent. If it's combat and G.I. Joe kind of reality, that becomes, you know what I'm saying, more contagious, more energetic, more bonded. At the same time, I was doing Garfield and Friends, and everybody recorded ensemble at the same time in the same studio. That becomes contagiously silly and stupid and fun, but it also, it builds chemistry between characters.
Sure.
In interactive gaming and more recent animation, it's become the exception rather than the rule. You tend to record isolated with the relationship between you and the director on the other side of the glass. We see each other, but not the way we did in the golden days. I have made friends for life because we were spending as many hours in the studio, in the green room, in the parking lot, as we were, with our families when we left. There was time to really get to know each other, and I bumped into those same people through the course of my career. Friends for life, but we see each other in studios like regular, because G.I. Joe and Transformers in particular, I think the casting launched a lot of careers, not just the gig, not just the series, but people who had, thankfully, like me, careers for a lifetime. A lot of versatility in the room.
Sweet. And I think it's when we talked to, maybe it was Rob Paulson, but the energy is like a stage show.
Totally.
It's life and live.
I don't know if you know the actor, my brain. Never mind. We'll go back to that.
Yeah, not a problem. When it pops in, just interrupt with it.
Oh my God. It just was like a total brain lapse.
I have that all the time. I call it picture the car driving down the highway, and then you hit a speed bump, and all four wheels are off the ground, and you can't get any traction. And they start spinning faster and faster. Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, So
that's what
no
just
worries.
happened.
And that's
On we
why
go.
it's live.
Yeah.
I talked myself out of a question.
We're both doing it.
Yeah, it's like, what do I say now? Oh my God.
That's it.
So,
So let's cut to a record and we'll, oh no, it's not radio.
we're back. TJ, jump in and save me at any point.
I'm liking watching you flounder a little
See?
I think my personality might be a little bit bigger than TJ's, but in different ways. Like he's a little more introverted and great with tech and and quiet. But when he comes with that stuff, it's cutting. It's different. So,
I think you complement each other beautifully.
bit. Thanks.
I think he gets mad when I talk a lot.
No, actually, I don't.
I got you. I'm just
No,
trying to
no.
recover, TJ. Thanks for going along
Oh.
with the bit.
Oh,
Nah.
that bit. I got you.
Oh yeah. I can't follow you, Brian. You're an idiot. Wait, that's
We're
what
back.
my wife says. Never mind. Never mind. So let's switch to cons. I'm sorry if I've got some buzzing going on. I can't mute at this point, TJ. It's trying to reconnect even though I'm connected, so I'm not touching anything. Pardon me to the audio gods.
Frank
What was
Welker used to have the ability to make it sound like the whole studio was arcing. People would dive for cover.
I was lucky
Then
enough.
he turned to me and said, "Well, it was this or college." He went to college.
Yeah. I met him and Peter on a GalaxyCon live call.
Uh-huh.
And I made him laugh. I had both the Autobot and Decepticon symbols. They were silver, and they take a picture for your video. And I held
Sure.
them up here, and they cracked up. Which
Perfect.
That's my goal in life, is to make people laugh. So I was very happy for that. Let's switch to cons, since we're here promoting Cajun Con, December 6th and 7th, Lamar, Dixon,
Yeah.
Expo Center, Gonzales, Louisiana. And you kind of said they had a few comic conventions back in the day in the 70s stuff, but it exploded so much more, in this millennium. Let's explore that for. What were your thoughts when it first started? A favorite story from it? Anything along those lines to save me from talking?
I kind of became aware of the reach of that convention phenomenon at a BotCon. It was me and Michael Bell, who you mentioned, and John Stevenson, all from Transformers. It was a BotCon. It was my first BotCon, and we were tired from travel, and we walked into the lobby of the hotel, and we might as well have been the Rolling Stones. It was rock star treatment from the minute we walked in. We were surrounded by people. It had been some years since I'd been involved with the franchise, and I was kind of not aware of the twists and turns that the storyline and even incarnations of Transformers had taken. Well, people enveloped us. We checked in, and it was kind of sensory overload. There was so much love coming at us that none of us were prepared for it. We checked in, and the three of us were kind of sticking to each other. We got our room keys. We got on the elevator, and before the elevator doors closed, there were probably 40 people in the elevator, all just kind of throwing love and interest and stuff at us, and in fact being incredibly informative about how G1 had almost a demigod status for them.
Yes.
And so I started doing homework. I wanted to know more about how everything fit together, and they were throwing around the word realignment, and generations were existing and coexisting and coming around and coming back. And anyway, it opened my eyes not only to fandom as sort of the invisible member of the ensemble, but just the fact that I wanted to refresh my mind on the story, because I knew there would be questions about it. So anyway, I think I rededicated myself to sort of watching the episodes and the 86 feature, and reacquainting myself with what I already knew so well. But since then, I've literally been around the world. I just got back from 2 shows in Australia. I do shows in the UK. I have more upcoming, but it's just a mind blower. Earlier, I used the words humbling and empowering. It's both of those things. You don't want to beat your chest too hard, because you're just trying to exceed expectation when you walk into the studio. But
Yeah.
these are all things I could never have foreseen, and it's just a real sort of fringe benefit that I didn't know that I was creating over the, let's say, decades, because it's been decades.
Right.
But there are so many people as familiar with my work as I am that it blows my freaking mind.
Right. And when G1 was pre-internet, so you've seen ratings, and you had your salary, so you were accepted, and you had the next season.
Sure.
You didn't have that interaction. So, and we talked
Right.
with Billy Slaughter. He's our friend.
Yeah.
I'll introduce you to him at the con, or TJ.
All right.
And he's been in Mayfair Witches, Twisted Metal, So he's our SAG vice president.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So just to give
Yeah,
people
yeah.
his credentials, and just he talked about that community building, that fan interaction, where he has touched someone's lives, and then they touch his at the cons, which not only does everybody a good boost, but it also, as actors, will get us through the lean times.
More than you can possibly imagine.
Yeah.
We don't know what the things we do mean to the people who embrace them, and it is sometimes heartbreaking. It's like, for me, everything's in opposites. It's heartbreaking, and it's heart filling at the same time. It's beautiful, and they're sharing hard memories and what having those shows to cling to meant to them. And I just every time I hear it, it never loses its impact. It's great. It's great.
Yeah. Have you had any? I'm sure there've been bad things at cons, but anything where people, I don't even, I almost regret asking the question. There's always going to be bad apples, but let's change that. Let's be positive, like we like to be. Can you think of one of your favorite, one of the most positive experiences you had with a fan? And if you can't, I'll move on.
I'll give you a good one.
Cool.
I I was tasked with Spirit, the Native American member of the GI Joe, who says possibility and impossibility are
Oh,
states
yeah.
of mind. In my mind, there is only the possible, that which can be done. And I tried to bring to him. I'm not Native American. My wife's family is, but that's wasn't significant. I tried to. I mean, it's very significant,
Yeah.
but I couldn't claim that as my own. So I tried to invest Spirit, who has this epic uh, battle over seasons with Storm Shadow,
Mm-hmm.
and their respected adversaries and esteemed opponents. Anyway, I was at a convention, and someone came to my table and introduced himself as Navajo Nation, and I said I know where this is going, thinking that he was going to talk about diversity in casting, which I approve of, I endorse.
Yeah.
But he said that's not why I'm here. He said I grew up feeling invisible, and when Spirit appeared on camera, and all of the traits that you gave him made me feel seen. I said, get over here and give me a hug, and
Oh, wow.
you just made my day, my
Yeah.
week, and my month. So things like that are just very, very powerful.
Right.
Yeah.
And you had a respect for the character and his, I want to say history, because that's, I guess that's the right way to,
Well,
you,
like I was saying about three dimensionality, you look for traits and you look for backstory, which sometimes you have to write for yourself, but you try and present a whole person or a whole character
mhm,
rather than just, a voice or a silly voice or an intense voice or a deep voice, whatever it is.
yeah,
It has to be tied to something, or it's just floating in space and it's kind of meaningless.
right. And I agree with you on diversity. People should be given the chance
Of
and all that. But
course.
if if I had to do something like that, to be respectful and not do a stereotype, that's not that,
Correct.
I'm admiring the way you handled it, and I'm fumbling a way to say it.
That's all right. You know, there was much more versatility in casting. They were entitled to three voices. So those of us who were versatile tended to be considered for lots of roles outside of the initial ones that we auditioned for. Anyway, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of what I did, and that moment was like a payoff decades later. Big
Yeah,
payoff.
exactly. I didn't see any. Well, I did a little IMDb research on you. Did you have any live action experience?
Oh, heck yes.
I
I
was sure
did.
you did. I just don't know.
Oh, I did a lot of episodic TV in the 80s.
Hmm.
I co starred in just a big hearted movie called Spaced Invaders, which still runs most Halloweens.
Yeah.
That was about the night that the Martians land in Big Bean, Illinois.
Yeah.
And I'm Steve W. Klembecker, the president of the Farmers Trust of Big Bean. So
Yeah.
we do bump into each other, and hilarity ensues.
Yeah.
It's a really sweet movie. I spent 4 months in Russia, in and around Moscow, doing police academy. I'm Yuri Talinsky from
That
Russian
was it.
police. Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
And we were there during the attempted overthrow of the Russian government. So we're trying to do slapstick comedy, and things got extremely nervous for a while until they settled down.
Wow.
Yeah. And lots of, I did pilots for CBS. Anyway, yeah, there's an extensive on-camera career. It's just animation so became the sweet spot
Yeah.
that I think it's kind of wise when your direction is trying to find you to let it.
Yeah. I totally agree.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Police Academy, I knew there was one that I was, oh, that was awesome. You were great in that one.
So
Thanks.
talk to me about that. The preparing an accent like that, a Russian accent. What did you do to prep that? That's
Well,
something. Accents is something that is not a strong point for me. I had to do one where I had an Irish accent, and I worked on it and worked on it, and it didn't have to be perfect because my character was playing somebody that was playing somebody that was Irish.
oh, got it.
So I had a little bit of grace there, I think.
Yeah, that buys you out.
But
Uh,
staying in it consistently is a challenge to me.
Well, my story begins at the audition. I had been, I'm vessel with dialect, but it was all in the material, and I find what I need to find. So I read, and they laughed. And Alan Metter, the director, said, "What am I going to do with you?" I said, "Why?" And he said, "Everybody loves you." He said, "But what am I going to tell the lobby full of Russian actors who are waiting to come in?" And I said, "Please tell them that my ancestry is full Russian. Both sides of my family emigrated at great personal expense so that I could be born in a free country. I don't take that, I don't take that lightly." But it's I come by it honestly, and I come to it honestly, and it. He said that's a really appropriate answer, and we can use. So when I was there, and the Russian crew who discovered that I was full Russian, and none of my family had returned to that soil since 1918. They embraced me. They said, "Here, your name is Grisha. From now on, you're Grisha." I said, "Oh, that's good for me." Um, and I just I had, I hear about Irish people, English people who find the family crest or pub or the roots, and I had that experience for myself there, and felt very looked after, because kind of found my history.
Yeah.
While the movie is silly, and the movie is fun, and the movie is good times, uh, but I had this personal experience that I wouldn't trade for anything.
Talk about community.
Hey, you asked.
Oh, I'm loving it.
That's community. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think that's our overarching theme of cons:
Yeah,
finding your tribe, finding
that's right.
community.
Cool. I
Yeah,
love that.
and in the acting community too. I started in 2019 in background. TJ's a little bit after me, and then
Same.
and we've done 48-hour films. If you're familiar with that contest,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
short films, independent films. We haven't hit our SAG stride yet, but we're trying. But making those connections with those people, just like at the cons, it's not that we're all just trying to do a job, but it's finding that art form.
Well, I said these words earlier. It doesn't matter whether you're gainfully employed, or doing as well as you think, or working with who you think you should be. None of it matters. What matters is, on every level, exceeding expectation. You have to be willing to work harder, stay longer, whatever it takes. Uh, Most of that work, it's like there's a meme of an iceberg with a tiny piece of ice above the surface, and this giant
Yeah.
iceberg below the surface, and the below says, preparation, and the above says performance.
Right.
So, you know, uh, just being able, and being encouraged to create art of any kind is a really to be desired status.
Hmm.
It makes us fortunate from the get go, because you're doing what you want to do, and in whether it's 48-hour or whatever, which is an incredible grind
Yeah.
and pressure. But I'm sure you learned semesters worth just by surviving that experience and getting it done.
Yes.
I think that's what the whole thing is about. If you want the entire experience of being an artist, if you want to create, then create. we have a poster which is not hanging currently. I have to go find it. It says, "Go to your studio and create something."
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Or sit, or sit and twiddle your thumbs, and that's how you get old.
That's a fact.
It's not when you're moving; it's when you stop moving. That's
Yeah.
That's when it gets you.
Um, oh, sorry. I thought you were saying something.
I thought I did think of a question. Since the shutdown with COVID and distancing and all that, how much of an impact did that have on you with voice work? Did you have to shift and start doing remote recordings from home?
Yeah, totally insane change. I mean, we were all trying to find new solutions to a problem that nobody anticipated. Not only remote, but you had to get your setup improved, because if it was coming from a remote location, you wanted it to be consistent with whatever submissions were being heard before and after it. You want consistency, so that increases the level of the relationship between you and the agent, and you because you're still submitting primarily through your agent. You want them to tell you if it's swaying from the consistency that they need. So we all became better engineers. I'm using the word better, not great. I know just enough buttons to push to compress files and send them so they open sounding decent. Don't ask me to press one more button, because I'm lost.
Yeah.
Studios, there is a very well known animation studio in LA. You would be instructed to park in space D, which was directly next to a door. You go through the door, and you're on mic. You walk through the door into the microphone. This was. It became important for studios to assure their clients that everything would be happening in a safe environment. So you finish recording, you see everybody through the glass and wave like you're actually hanging out, but you're isolated,
Yeah.
and then you're instructed to go back through the door, pull your car out as quickly as possible from space D, because that's where the next talent needs to park and was probably waiting for you to pull out. So we all, I mean, and good for us, we looked for new answers to unexpected problems. And here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which opened the door for us to talk to people like you. So there's always something good going to come out of something bad.
Yeah.
TJ, you
Right.
told me you shaved last week. That's really impressive.
I'm right.
Oh, wow. That's some beard.
Thank you.
Our first episode was with our friend Hick Sheremy, and they both have beards like that. And I'm a little long because I'm playing a Cajun wizard, a Cajun
Oh,
Jedi this coming Friday. But I was
nice.
like, oh, I got no beard. So it's been the battle of the beards for 2 years, and we've
There
just
you
passed
go.
our 2 year anniversary.
Yeah.
I had a decent one in the 60s. How old am I?
We'll never tell.
No, why? I mean, in the voice world, you're any age. The only limitations are the ones you put on yourself. You can be any age, any species,
Yeah.
any creature, any animal. Nothing. You don't necessarily age unless you allow yourself to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And your voice is smooth like butter. I've
Thanks,
been
man.
amazed.
Pass me a slice.
Do you have a routine? Do you have hot tea with honey every day, or is it just natural for you?
I used to do a lot of vocalizing and a lot of care, and I still am very economical with my voice, especially if I have a session tomorrow at 8. I'm not going to be the last one to leave the lounge. I'm not going to tell the most stories. I'm not going to laugh the hardest. And I'm just going to take care of myself because that's my instrument. But there's that thing about anybody is 10,000 hours from mastery of anything. So by that theory, by Malcolm Gladwell, I can sort of pick up the instrument and play it. If you need it, I can do it. But I'm protective. Why wouldn't you be protective of the thing that you're hanging your career on? You know.
Sure.
You'd be surprised at how many
Well,
people.
yeah, no. There's some people that say if you really want to work in this town, start drinking and smoking, and gargling razor blades.
So what you're saying is your voice is the Keith Richards of animation.
Why, thank you. Yes,
That
sitting
could
in a
have been
date.
taken either way.
Yeah, sitting in a date palm tree, waiting for the next session
Awesome.
or to fall.
Yes.
That's right.
I thought you were talking about autumn, and I'm like, Durr. Have you been to New Orleans before?
Yeah, it was some time ago, and it was actually I was doing a show called Duck Man, where I'm corn-fed pig, and I have to keep the duck out of trouble. So that was on USA Network when it first appeared.
I loved it.
Why it's not on Adult Swim or some late night format, I really don't know. It's outside my control.
Yeah.
But they were doing the networks do upfronts for their upcoming season to get their advertisers enthused and anybody else at the network enthused. Well, this was the equivalent of that, and it was held in New Orleans. And I went with my wife, and I feel like it was just 5 minutes after the jazz festival had concluded, because there were musicians of note on the streets just playing because that's what they do.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of an enchanted stay. The streets of New Orleans were like Disneyland, but it was not Disneyland. It was just it was just players being players.
Yeah, back in the 80s, it was not Disneyland.
No,
It was closer to Times Square.
I'm just saying it was an enchanted
Yes.
long weekend.
Excellent.
But yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Can't wait to go back. And like you mentioned, Cajun Con is coming up quick.
Yep, 3 weeks away. You're going to be closer to Baton Rouge than New Orleans, but we're still going to get you some great food.
Works for me.
We're not going to feed TJ though. Yeah, that's it.
Up.
That's right.
I don't want to say this, TJ. I think we're done. I think we're out of time.
Yeah.
Well, we met as strangers and we leave as friends.
Excellent.
That's right.
And you'll see on my feeds, I love taking selfies. So we are taking plenty of pictures at Cajun Con.
All right, cool. I look forward to seeing you there. I look forward to seeing everybody there.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to meeting you.
First
Great.
Cajun Con, we're going to blow the doors off. See you there.
Okay.
See you there, folks.
Leave the doors on till I get there.
Oh, okay, cool.